back to Up and Up. This is I'm Anna, and I'm here with Geraldine Peterson, who is a therapist. She's been a therapist for many, many years, um, and we're here to talk about parenting. One of her prime, and I'd probably say favorite things that she does is she teaches parenting classes very regularly to help build communication and give tools and concepts for parents. So we're going to be talking about that today.
Yeah, I've taught parenting classes again for years and years, different types of classes. I've kind of compiled different pieces from different classes for the parenting classes I teach now. Even teaching those classes, every time I teach one, I learn something new about being a parent. I think parenting is really difficult, even if you have all the skills in the world, all the support in the world, all the resources in the world. It's still a hard job. So my goal here is to make that job just a tiny bit easier for you and for your kids. Today we're going to talk about timeouts, kind of where timeouts originated, what the purpose was, what the purpose is, how to put your child in a timeout, and kind of the easiest way to do that, the way that works best. So I'm going to start by asking you, Anna, or telling you a joke and then asking you if this fits for you. They
Okay.
say the difference between a child and an adult is their response when you say it's time to take a nap, right? So
Yep.
again, most kids are there like, no, I don't want to take a nap. And most adults are there like, oh, thank goodness, I need a nap. Yes, yes, please, nap time.
Absolutely.
So originally, the term timeouts were more along the lines of someone saying, oh, thank you, I need a timeout, not a,
Mm.
"Oh, I don't want to go to timeout." So it was a gift to the child. It was a recognition and an acknowledgement that the child's overwhelmed. Probably the parent is also overwhelmed, and we just need to put a pause on this. We need to take a break. We need to do something to kind of recenter ourselves, get our emotions back to a reasonable level, come back at this in a few minutes or, however long. And now I see timeouts being used a lot as the punishment. And really, what usually happens then is that the argument, instead of being about unloading the dishwasher or doing your homework or bedtime or not taking the car without permission. Well, I guess you don't put teenagers in timeouts, but the argument becomes about the timeout then, rather than about
Mm.
the lesson you're actually trying to teach. So that's the kind of conceptual thing that is underlying timeouts. Is it's a favor, it's a gift to both yourself and your child, to kind of say, we can take a break from this. It's not going away. And that's why you call it a timeout, and not just, we're going to stop talking about this because we're both upset.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
remembering to come back to it. I know even as an
Ah,
adult, sometimes it's when you take a break from the conversation, sometimes it's hard to remember, oh no, I do have to bring it back up. When I tell you I need a break, I need to come back and we need to
yeah.
finish this.
Yeah.
So,
And parent-child is a relationship too, just like with adults.
yeah.
Sometimes we need to say, I just need, I need to step back from this for a while, and then, yeah, to come back. So, the first kind of tip is to present it as as a gift. We're both upset. Let's both take a time out, to kind of gather ourselves. So then the second thing is, then a timeout doesn't need to be sitting in the corner or facing the wall or sitting on the bottom step. It can be about playing with their toys, you know, or, just like if an adult takes a timeout, it might be about watching a couple of TikToks, or, you know, um, splashing their face with water, or, just something a little comforting, or taking a little walk around the block or something. So for kids, it doesn't have to be a negative thing. Um, I used to work in behavioral classrooms, like to assist the teacher with specific kids who weren't doing well, and it was probably for a mental health reason.
Hmm.
And I remember there was one child in this one class, and I'm very grateful for this teacher for also teaching me besides her students. Every Monday, this child would come into classroom. Somewhere in Monday morning would have an inappropriate breakdown or a breakdown with inappropriate behavior and would
Hmm.
get put in timeout, which in her case was tape on the floor that designated a little area and it had a bunch of pillows and stuffed animals in there. So I said, okay, this is a problem. He keeps getting put in timeout every Monday. We need to fix this problem. And she said, it's not actually a problem, it's a solution. He goes home Friday, spends a weekend in a very chaotic home, comes back to school and needs a reminder that this is a safe place with guidelines and rules. And the only way he can do that is to kind of break those rules, have the consequences enforced, and consequences that are kind and respectful and not cruel or abusive, then go back to his seat and he's kind of good for the rest of the week. And that's what helped me understand that timeouts are a gift rather than a punishment.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that story, right? And I'm glad that teacher kind of taught me a thing or two. So you want to do it as a gift, you want to do it in a comfortable area. You do want to have an understanding and probably even a plan of when to come back and talk about whatever the issue was.
Mm.
And again, that can be the typical guideline is 1 minute per year of age. So if they're 5 minutes. If they're 10 minutes. I think that's a reasonable guideline. Um,
That makes sense.
yeah. And then to come back and start again with all right, we're both calmer. We both know we love and care for each other. Let's talk about the dishes again, or let's talk about the homework again. So,
I really do appreciate timeouts are one of my favorite tools.
mm-hmm,
Um, and it's kind of a high horse for me because I was raised with a mom who used them appropriately, thank goodness.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, because I was a child who got overstimulated very easily, and she recognized that
Uh-huh.
that was the problem. And
Mm-hmm.
for me growing up, when it was timeout time, I was usually taken to mom and dad's bedroom because mom and dad's bedroom was the safe space in our family.
Uh-huh.
That was the cozy, safe place to be.
Yeah.
And so I was put on mom and dad's bed, and she'd close the door and she'd leave. And she'd come back every few minutes and check on me. And I have very distinct memories of her coming and opening the door, and I'm screaming and crying. And she's like, "Are you done?" And I'd roll over and go at her, and she'd say, "Nope," and
Not
she'd close
yet.
the door. Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, and it was really healthy and very helpful for me. And I learned that coping skill for myself, and it became a problem going out into the world where being an introvert is bad and not
Ah.
participating in the group is bad. And the
Mm,
Sunday school teachers or the daycare teachers would be I would separate myself because I needed a minute. I'd go crawl under a table or go in the
mhm,
other room or whatever,
mhm,
and they or go to the corner,
mhm.
whatever it was. I just needed space, and the teachers would try to drag me back
Oh,
to the
no.
group, and my mom would tell them, "No, you need to leave her alone. She is fine. She'll
Yeah.
come back when she's ready."
Mhm,
um, so yeah, it's a very healthy thing, and teaching children how to take that space, because I know it's really easy to just tell a child who's freaking out, "Oh my gosh, breathe." But you have to
mhm.
actually teach them how to do that. You have to teach
Yeah.
them how to take that space and that time to calm. And this is
Yeah.
one of the ways to do it, and it's really good. So,
Absolutely. I Kids get overstimulated easily, and introverts also get overstimulated easy, so it's probably twice as important for an
right.
introverted child. But even if your child's an extrovert, kids get overwhelmed very easily. And
Sometimes I think sometimes with extroverts it's worse because they're having so much fun that they just ramp up and up and up and up and up, and you have to
ah,
teach them. I have a couple nephews who are that way, and it's like, okay, just take a minute and breathe, and you can still have more fun. It's just breathe.
mhm, yeah, take a little time out so you can have more fun. Yeah, yeah, I
Exactly.
like that. The last thing I want to say about timeouts is a cool little trick. is, depending on the age of your child and if they have a safe place to be, is if in the middle of an argument or being upset with high emotions, you can say, I'm going to put myself in timeout. My
Mhm.
emotions are getting high. I'm going to go to my room for that 5 minutes. Don't do
Yeah.
your own age by minutes, but do your child's age by minutes,
Right.
and then come back to this. And that models the behavior you're trying to teach, which people usually learn better when they see something happen, not just when they're told how it should happen. And it reminds the child that timeouts are not a punishment. It's a tool. It's a gift. So the takeaway is put your child in timeouts as a gift to your child and to yourself.